If you still use Summer's Eve or feminine hygiene products, sis, what are you doing? What's up, you guys? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. It's your girl V, and today, as you can tell by the title, I will be sharing with you guys some feminine hygiene tips that every girl should know. I know this topic is kind of taboo, but it's things that we need to start talking about. And hello, we all need some useful tips as women. So if you're interested in this topic, please stay tuned to the video. Okay, I just want to give a disclaimer. I am not a doctor, I'm not a medical student or anything like that. So all of these tips and hacks or whatever is just my opinion. You can disagree with them if you want, but I just want to give you guys a little bit of, you know, tips and tricks. I'm 24 years old, so I do feel like I had quite some time to put these tips into place myself. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into it. So the first feminine hygiene tip that I feel that every woman should know: missed periods are not normal. That's not okay. If you find that you are constantly missing your period, something is wrong. You totally need to go to your GP and get that checked out. Once or twice, sure, that's fine. But if you find yourself constantly missing your period, something is definitely wrong and you need to go and get that checked out. Another disclaimer, this is a pro-women's channel. I am not judging anyone. All of this is just here for helpful tips, okay? Next feminine hygiene tip that I totally recommend, guys, you have to switch to organic pads, organic cotton pads. I use this brand called Real, I believe. I'll put it on the screen just for you guys as reference. But since I've switched to organic pads, I've noticed a complete difference in my menstrual flow and like how long it lasts and how, you know, the freshness of it down there. So totally recommend switching to natural organic pads, okay? Because those normally don't have any harsh chemicals and it's totally natural, so they are going to be the best option for you if you have issues with your treasure box. Another tip, you should be taking supplements. Supplements is your best friend for feminine hygiene. Obviously, you would have to consult with your GP before you start any supplements, but I totally recommend looking into supplementation for your feminine hygiene. A few supplements that I use and I stand by is magnesium. You need cranberry pills. You need cranberry pills, sis, okay? I also use vitamin D because I live in the United Kingdom and we barely see sun out here. So I use vitamin D. Inositol is another one, and that goes back to you missing your periods. If you find that you constantly miss your periods, inositol is a great supplement for you to try. Obviously, speak with your GP about these supplements before you start taking them, but I feel like every woman should be taking these supplements. Along with taking supplements, you have to drink a lot of water. I drink at minimum 2 liters of trash a day. I would say it's going to make you go to the bathroom. You're gonna be peeing a lot, but that's what you want. You want to keep your urinary tract very clear, and drinking water is gonna be the best option. I normally just get the 1.5 liter bottle and I just drink 2 of these a day, and trust me, my skin is clear, the treasure box is nice and fresh. Please drink your water. Water is your best friend in every aspect of life, okay? Another tip, and this is going to be optional, of course, but you need to be detoxing your treasure box every time after your period. So after your period is over, you need to detox your treasure box. So a way that you can do that is fill up your tub with some water and put in some apple cider vinegar. Okay, And make sure it has the mother in it. You need apple cider vinegar in your bath, and you're gonna soak in that for about 30 minutes or so. And that is going to help with detoxing your treasure box and eliminating odors, because apple cider vinegar is an antifungal, and it also helps with regulating your pH. So I totally recommend doing the apple cider vinegar detox after your periods. Another feminine hygiene tip, and y'all can come for me, but please, if you still use Summer's Eve or feminine hygiene products, sis, what are you doing? Why are you still doing that? Like, I'm not judging you, but I'm judging you. Please stop using feminine hygiene products. Those things do not work. They do more harm than good, because they're filled and they're loaded with a ton of chemicals and a lot of toxins. And in my opinion, I feel like feminine hygiene products makes the situation worse, because obviously they have to get money and they have to, you know, keep you coming back. So anything that says it's going to eliminate odor, chances are it's gonna give you the odor so it can eliminate it. So please stop using feminine hygiene products. Summer's Eve, Vagisil, all of those very toxic chemical-y things, you don't want to be using that down there, because it's going to throw your pH off. That's why you have to continue using it, because it's throwing your pH off. Please throw it away. Douching, all of that. No. Don't put your treasure box at jeopardy for odor and yeast infections and all of those things. So please, feminine hygiene products are not the wave. Leave that in the past. We're going into the future. We don't use feminine hygiene products unless it's purely organic, but I've yet to find any feminine hygiene products that is strictly, you know, but no, baby, please cut it out. Another feminine hygiene tip for me, you have to wash your treasure box with unscented soap. So any unscented soap that you like, please wash your treasure box. I normally use the Dove Body Bar or the Pear soap. Great unscented soap, great for down there. And obviously when I mean to wash the treasure box, I'm talking about the outer part, like the lips. Like, you know, let's say this is your treasure box, and in the middle is the treasure box hole. You don't want to wash in the treasure box. You just want to wash the lips with unscented soap, so that you are eliminating odors and you're very fresh and clean down there, okay? Don't put the soap in the treasure box. Don't do that. Don't do that. But make sure that you're washing around it to eliminate all of those odors and, you know, stuff like that. Especially after your period, after you've already soaked in your apple cider vinegar, wash with unscented soap, and then, you know, you're good to go. I'm sure we all know by now that you should be using baby wipes for number 2. If you don't know, please get on it. Baby wipes are essential. You need that. You need that. So if you have a baby, just use your baby wipes when it's time to go number 2. And because toilet tissue doesn't get everything, and you just don't want any, you want to eliminate all sorts of odor as much as possible. So, and if it's good enough for your baby, it's good enough for the treasure box. So unscented baby wipes for number 2, or you can just use it to refresh yourself throughout the day, and make sure you're wiping from front to back, because you don't want to carry any dookie from the bottom to the front. You know, don't please don't do that. But like I said, baby wipes front to back, you're good to go. Another tip, in my opinion, I personally don't feel like panty liners are necessary. I feel like they do more harm than good, in my opinion, unless you're gonna get an organic pad, an organic panty liner. But even still, I just feel like you need to let your treasure box breathe, especially after your period. You've already had that on for maybe 7 days plus, and your treasure box doesn't have any air, it's not breathing, and then you're gonna go and put a panty liner on again for the rest of the month. I feel like that'll make sense to me. I personally am not a panty liner girl. I cut it out, in my opinion. Of course, you can do whatever you want to do, but I don't like the panty liners. I like to let my treasure box breathe. She needs air, and I'm not going to trap her inside of a panty liner after my period. No, I'm not doing that. I mean, hey, try it and see what happens for you. Another feminine hygiene tip: discharge is good. Like, you want to be having discharge. There's nothing wrong with having discharge. Discharge is not gross at all. That is a very natural part of the treasure box. Obviously, the only issue would be with discharge if it has a weird smell or a weird color. Like, I'm gonna insert the colors, the warning sign colors that discharge should not be. But once you're having clear, regular discharge flow, sis, the treasure box is healthy. She's doing what she's supposed to do. It's okay. Don't be embarrassed about that, because that's normal. It's okay. Another one, a very important one too. The treasure box is not supposed to smell like flowers or candy or pineapples. Please grow up. That is not that's not realistic. And if your treasure box does smell like candy or flowers, sis, something is wrong. That's not normal. That's not natural. It's supposed to smell like the treasure box, and that's just on, period. Why would you want it to smell like it's supposed to have a very natural feminine smell. The natural smell of the vagina is normal. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as there's no foul odor, your treasure box is not supposed to smell like candy or none of that other bullshit that people try to promote. No. What you can do to make sure that the treasure box smells like the treasure box, make sure, like I said, you're drinking a lot of water. Water is your best friend. You're taking cranberry supplements or drinking a lot of cranberry juice. Pineapple juice helps as well with, you know, making the treasure box smell as neutral and as pure as possible. Your diet is going to play a part in the smell of your treasure box, but you don't want it to smell like anything other than a treasure box, okay? Please grow up. I don't know where this whole smelling like flowers, tasting like candy. If you taste like that, I just know your pH is all the way fucked up. Like I said, I'm not judging anyone. I just want y'all to be very well informed when it comes to taking care of yourself down there. Especially if you're a young girl, you know, there's this notion that your treasure box is supposed to smell like sunshine and rainbows and butterflies. And girl, that is totally unrealistic, okay? Another tip, please make sure you're detoxing your armpits after shaving or waxing. That is going to help with eliminating odors under your arm. Again, like I said, apple cider vinegar is your best friend for feminine hygiene. So what I normally do is I mix a small amount of bentonite clay with the apple cider vinegar, and then I put that under my arm as a mask. I leave that for about 30 minutes or so until it's dry, and then I wipe it away. What that helps with is odor elimination, and it also brightens your underarm. So get on that wave after you've already waxed or shaved. Detox your armpits and you're good to go. Like, I'm telling you, you will smell so fresh and clean, and it really helps with your underarm health. Another tip along the same lines, after you've detoxed your armpits, I totally recommend switching to natural deodorants for at-home use, because you don't want to, after you've already detoxed your armpits, you don't want to go and put a load of chemicals back under your arms. So what I like to use is this natural deodorant from Salt of the Earth. This is optional. There's a ton of other natural deodorants out there, but I only recommend this for at-home use because this is not an antiperspirant. So obviously it's not gonna last all day. Then when you're going out, you can switch to your regular deodorant. I use the Dove 48 hour spray or the Degree Motion, but I only use this if I'm going somewhere. I'm not using regular antiperspirants at home because I just don't feel like that's necessary. Like you're clogging your pores under your arm. It's not necessary for at-home use, in my opinion. Another useful tip, hack, whatever you want to call it, you should be waxing or using Nair or Veet to remove treasure box hair. I don't recommend shaving because shaving really irritates the treasure box and it causes a lot of ingrown hairs and it causes a lot of bumps and discoloration and stuff down there. So I don't, shaving is so 2010. Please cut it out. I mean, if you don't have an option, you can use, there's certain shaving gels that you can use to help prevent ingrown hairs and stuff, but I use Veet because I feel Veet is a little bit more sensitive compared to Nair. So I use Veet to remove my treasure box hair. I need to get a wax, but I live in the United Kingdom and we're still on lockdown, so Veet has been a lifesaver during these times for me. And obviously you have to be very careful if you're gonna use Veet down there. Make sure you're only putting it on the lips. Don't put it on the actual, you know what I mean? Don't put it in there because then you have a whole nother situation that you just need to go to the doctor for. But be very careful if you're going to use the Veet or Nair method, but I totally recommend waxing. Waxing is going to be your best friend. It's a game changer. Welcome to the club. Another thing, after waxing or using Veet, you have to use an aftershave. That is what's gonna help with combating itchiness and combating ingrown hairs and razor bumps. If you're gonna shave, aftershave is also a good investment because it's gonna prevent razor bumps and stuff like that. But razors on your treasure box are just a no. They do more harm than good. Okay, it's cheap, but there's a reason that it's cheap. Okay. And lastly, you guys, final tip, please know that everyone's body is different. Your body is gonna be different from mine. So what reacts well for me, it's probably gonna have a negative reaction with you. So take all of this advice with a grain of salt. Most of them I totally stand by and I feel like it's worked for me. Like I mentioned, I'm 24 years old, so I've had a lot of time to do trial and error and know what works for my body. If you guys want to go ahead and try these hacks, please let me know down below if they worked for you or if you've tried them. Thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope that this was helpful and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.